Afghanistan, March 2002. During Operation Anaconda, the attempt to place an observation team on Takur Ghar, a key mountaintop overlook, started a 17-hour-long intense and at times desperate firefight. The 7-man team included Air Force Combat Controller John Chapman. Around 3 a.m., as their helicopter tried to land, machine gun fire and rocket-propelled grenades, or RPGs, ripped through it, causing Navy SEAL Neil Roberts to fall out. The partially disabled helicopter made an emergency landing in the valley far below, leaving Roberts alone among the enemy on Takur Ghar. Sergeant Chapman quickly established communications, and another helicopter picked up the team in the valley and took it back to the mountain. There, Chapman advanced, killed 2 of the enemy, and exchanged fire from an exposed position before succumbing to multiple wounds. His selfless actions allowed the survivors to escape the deadly ambush. For his heroism and sacrifice, Sergeant John Chapman was posthumously awarded the Air Force Cross. Meanwhile, a rescue force assembled. 9 Army Rangers and their Air Force Terminal Attack Controller, Kevin Vance, boarded a helicopter, Razor 1, along with an Air Force team consisting of pararescueman Kerry Miller, Combat Controller Gabe Brown, and pararescueman Jason Cunningham. Miller explains the situation.
We're woken up out of dead sleep and basically started running to the planning cell and pushing guys to the helicopter. It's personal recovery, so there's a lot of unknowns.
The rescue force did not know that Roberts had already been killed and that the reconnaissance team had moved down the mountain. At 6 a.m., as the sun rose, Razor 1 arrived at Takur Ghar. Brown and Miller described what happened next.
We were clearing the land. We're hitting 3 or 4 RPGs, small arms fire started just ripping through the airframe. I remember seeing the bullet holes coming through the side of the helicopter. It's almost like daylight, popping through, and you see the dust floating in the air. Here we go. I knew we were going to war.
Before we hit the ground, we just took an enormous amount of fire. The helicopter hit the ground pretty hard. We immediately started exiting the aircraft.
4 Army personnel were dead and several wounded. Miller describes the scene.
We instantly knew that they got to stay here and fight. We had too many wounded to do anything else. We were in a constant fight for the first 6 hours. You're in a battle for your life. Cunningham stayed in the helicopter. He started treating the wounded with the airport medic, and then they started working some of the wounded that never made it out. Myself, I started treating the guys that had been range.
Sergeant Gabe Brown describes his actions.
Assess myself, what's my job here? What's my role? How do I make an impact? Let's work at the long-term problem here. Let's get up on communications and let the world know about it. Any plan has a potential to go ugly, and the biggest thing is clear communications.
At around 7 a.m., Sergeant Brown directed the first of many airstrikes against the perilously close enemy positions. The first air attacks were strafing runs by U.S. Air Force fighters.
I checked my danger close book. It gives me an estimated distances on what our risk is if we have these bombs come close to us. And just toss that book down. I gave them the clear hot, and I had my fingers crossed a little bit. You could smell the pines from being shredded by the F-15s and F-16s.
The team was in a difficult position. They were fighting in snow at high altitude against an entrenched enemy above them.
The bad thing was the altitude. So you're sucking wind pretty hard. The out of breath feeling was there. On the cold air, you kind of have that burn in your lungs.
Despite being wounded, Sergeant Vance fought on the line and assaulted the enemy bunker with the Rangers. He also provided vital guidance to Brown and Ranger Commander Captain Nate Self on using air power to improve the battlefield situation. When the fighters ran out of cannon rounds, Brown called in bombs.
And basically the thought was to walk them in. You hear the thing rocketing in for a while. You can hear the fighter pull off, and then you're just waiting and waiting, and finally that thing hit the ground.
Kerry Miller describes the scene.
We were probably missing their bunker by maybe 5 to 10 feet. Sometimes it still wasn't effective. The ground was just so frozen. They were so well dug in up there. We did have one bomb that hit kind of in the saddle of the hill that just rocked our world. Without close air support, I don't think we'd be here today.
A direct missile hit on the bunker and a final ground assault around 11 a.m. took the mountaintop. But around noon, an enemy attack from below took the Americans by surprise. Brown describes the situation.
We just get lit up. I actually watched the RPG get fired from a rock outcropping and accelerate at us. I could have caught this thing with a baseball glove.
That same enemy attack seriously wounded Cunningham.
When he got hit, he was in the process of moving the casualties and then he went down. At this point in time, we got, I think, about 6 critical patients. He was giving me a kind of a quick handover of exactly what patients he had and what treatment he done in the condition.
An airstrike destroyed the enemy below, and the team held off more enemy counterattacks during the day. At 6 p.m., Jason Cunningham succumbed to his injuries. For his heroism and selflessness, he was posthumously awarded the Air Force Cross. After the sun went down, helicopters evacuated the survivors, including Vance, Miller, and Brown, along with the 7 Americans killed in action. The battle was over. Brown and Miller shared some of their final thoughts.
I can't stress enough the professionalism of everybody on there, everybody's role.
Everybody brought their A game that day. I think if you remove any element from that battle, you would have had a different outcome. We had a lot of casualties. Within the first 15 minutes, we lost 2/3 of our force, and they couldn't win. They just didn't realize who they were fighting.